welcome to the Model Memoirs podcast. I'm your host, Heather Moni, known as Moni on this podcast, and this is my co-host, Brat. Hi, Brat.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Did you know it's Gemini season right now?
It's May?
Mm-hmm.
Still May? Yeah. I did.
May 21st. So it's a very karmic day of the year. Actually, the most karmic day for 2026. So today is a good one.
Liberation.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Today is a good day.
Okay. First question. Who are you?
That's a good question. I would say that I am a mom. I'm a wife. I am a great best friend. I'm an artist, specifically a dancer, a writer, a model, content creator. And I would just say I'm overall just a person who's very, very happy with her life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay. Well, it's true.
It is. It's very true. I see your joy constantly. Okay. Number 2, what brought you to this point in 2026?
Okay. Just my journey, my walk has been challenging. I remember earlier in life, I used to question the universe, God, why I had so much struggle earlier in life. But I now realize, being in my 40s, that it was just preparing me to be the person that I am today. And whatever I went through just made me stronger. And it just made me have an appreciation for people, for life, for, everything that's involved with it. And so I would just say that experiences that I've gone through have brought me where I am today. And I would like to get into that in detail, but probably at a different time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like on specific levels when we talk about
pivotal moments in your life. Yeah. Okay. Number 3, how long have you been modeling for?
Okay. So my very first modeling experience was when I was a kid. My mom, she just had plans for me earlier in life, wanted me to, dance, model, act, do all the things. And so she would put me in fashion shows for kid brands. I remember modeling for Harris's, which is a department store, and doing some catalog modeling when I was a kid. So I would say like the early 90s maybe. But it wasn't really that serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it back up in college, and it was a nice side gig to help with expenses when I was in school. But I didn't actually get serious about it until I was in my 30s, after I was married and settled. It was my husband who suggested that I pick it back up and see where it goes. And I've been doing it ever since.
So leaving it, like having it as a young child, leaving it, coming back to it, were there things you enjoyed about it then, or was it just kind of like your mom's like idea of who she wanted you to be, or like?
Yeah, I didn't really like it when I was a kid, actually.
Really?
I love my mom and all, and I know that she had the best intentions for me, but when you're being compared to other kids or models at that young age, and your brain doesn't really understand that at that point, but you feel like less than in some way. And so then you have this drive where you're like searching for perfection, and in that kind of character builds within you, where you feel like you have to do better, be better, look better in order to get approval from the person that you love the most. And so I would say that, I didn't really care for it early on. Plus, it wasn't necessarily like my goal. My brain was wired differently than my mother's. Like I wanted to be an intellectual, and I had a curiosity for learning. And it was, always my intention to get educated and to become someone in my particular field of study. Um, but I was kind of put in this other box. And I wanted to please my parents and my mom in particularly. So I went along with that. But, it wasn't what I felt was truly satisfying for me.
Really?
But I will say that after I did accomplish the goals of, higher education and going into the workforce, I realized that with my experience in modeling and dance and all of the arts, that's where I had my skills and my strengths and my power,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could actually really do something with it. So I was grateful
When you
for,
came back to it.
yes,
Yeah.
for my experiences and what it brought me as,
Yeah.
a person today.
Yeah. I understand that. It's actually kind of crazy because you had competition in comparison, whereas I never would have thought that. I thought it was more like um, just on like unique looks or a particular look that they were looking for. Like the fact that you felt pressure and competition to change something that you really can't, which is, to change facial features or height or, because a girl tried runway modeling. I was not it. You got to be 5'8". You got to be 5'7" or something. I was like, I'm not getting past 5'3", So it is crazy that you were put through that. But later in life, finding empowerment and being able to do it kind of from your own accord, right? Like you weren't like
Yes.
forced into things. Like
No.
it was more like, oh, I would like to take on this creative project, not
Exactly.
I'm going to be forced to like maybe get in this catalog.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, some examples of what I was talking about for those who may relate. Like my mom never wanted me to get dirty. I couldn't play and be like a regular kid. I had to wear like really nice clothes and keep them clean and pristine all the time. I couldn't get bruises or scratches, because that would not reflect well of someone who was representative of a brand. Um, and then, I wasn't quite the American girl. I'm mixed race. I'm Mexican American and Caucasian. And so I didn't have the blonde hair, blue eyed look that was very like in demand in that time. So when I fell short in my accomplishments in modeling when I was younger, uh, it seemed like I felt like I was compared to those who met that criteria, and that I was less than, and that was something that I couldn't necessarily control, One of my memories was doing a runway show as a kid, and I was a ham. I mean, I had big energy. I mean, I used my dance background and I was walking down the runway just with, all this pizzazz, rocking the outfits that I was wearing. But I made an L shape instead of a T shape because that's what the runway is. And since I didn't fully go to this end of the runway, I just made like an L shape. I got criticized so bad for not like finishing that portion of the runway, and I just felt like I completely failed, in that moment. So I mean, a lot of pressure, for a kid, who doesn't really understand like everything about that industry and like what it entails. But at the same time, I gave it my best, and that's all I can do, and I'm happy with that at the end of the day.
Well, it was your foundation.
Yes.
For like, what you've been able to accomplish now. Okay, so this one will be fun. What has modeling helped you accomplish?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, so many things. I mean, on a smaller level, it's helped me accomplish great relationships with models and photographers in the community. Also, like publications, getting featured in different magazines. I like to boast about that. I have like a stack, probably like this high at home that I hope to show my grandkids one day. But on a bigger level, I think that it is really done a lot of like inner work with me or for me, because I have learned how to like empower myself, be an independent woman, be a businesswoman, build a brand, mentor others, and which is why I'm here today, to educate, inform, and to mentor for those who, are seeking something like that from someone who has experience and has, genuine intentions when it comes to influencing other people. But yeah, it is, brought me a lot of success, and some, hardship and challenging times too, but I would say overall more good than bad.
Yeah. That's good. If there's one opportunity that you're really looking forward to while here on Earth, what would it be?
Yeah, like before the end of my lifetime, I want to go from what I currently have, which appears on the outside as more of a vanity project, to actually helping people, like service. I feel like I have a, a service background, which is how I was raised and like who I am as a person. And so I want my work, my professional life to reflect that. And so I feel like doing something more meaningful that is going to benefit others, and not necessarily myself, is the direction that I want to go into. So starting there, I think that's the ultimate goal. And that would give me such satisfaction with life and like what I have done, with my time. So
I think making this community safer
yes,
is huge. It is. It's everything. I feel really bad for women that don't have a mentor or, don't know where to start and are doing it blind. So obviously when you brought up the podcast and everything and what your intentions were, I so heavily aligned with the same ideas. 10 years for me. How long for you?
about 10 years too.
Pretty much your whole life. Like on and off your whole life.
I mean, in this particular like setting, yes. Yeah.
Okay. What do people misunderstand about you?
A lot of things, actually. Even though I portray myself as this like sexually empowered being, to the world, that's just really a character that, I am playing most of the time. And mostly it's because of the way that God designed my body, the way I was like biologically engineered. So, if I had a preference, I would do more artistic projects. But unfortunately, I don't have a body type for that. And I usually get hired to do more of the sexualized kind of artwork or content. And that's just not really reflective of who I am. I mean, I can tap into that side of me.
It exists.
It exists.
It exists, yeah.
But I wouldn't say that that is like the predominant, person who I am. I'm educated. I have a bachelor's degree in English writing with a emphasis in journalism. And I always wanted to be a news anchor when I was a kid. I mean, that was the dream. A journalist and then a news anchor, which is kind of why I'm doing this today, because I feel like I'm tapping into something that is authentic to me, sharing information, educating, and, really communicating, what I feel like I have an expertise on somewhat, And yeah, and then I also have an MBA in marketing, which goes into art. I mean, it coincides so well. So you can be a great artist, you can produce a lot of great work, but if you don't know how to market yourself, you don't know how to showcase your art, you don't know how to monetize your art, then you're not going to live up to your fullest potential or be as successful as you want. And so marketing is a really great aspect of that, and I do have a really good background in that. So, I feel like people just think like you take pictures and you put them online and that's what this job entails, but it's a very common misconception that people have,
Mm-hmm.
which is another reason why it's good to educate, with
Mm-hmm.
this form of podcast that like goes into all of that.
Yeah.
So,
Into the nitty gritty of everybody's lives.
yes.
Like, because it's so unique.
And all the roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so unique. But it's also cool because you get to decide. You get to decide kind of how you spend your days within reason. So I do agree. Okay, where are we at? What's something that you are proud of that no one really sees?
I'm into astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, I am, educated from a Christian background. I went to Christian schools, Christian university, and I actually learned about all of the different religions.
Mm.
So, I always talk about like I could probably do a podcast or educate people on just the different types of religions that exist and astrology because it all ties into each other. So, I would just call myself a spiritual person. There's that brand, it's a yoga brand called Spiritual Gangster, and I wear a lot of their stuff because I really do think that I am one. uh Obviously there's more to know about everything, and astrology was the last form of spirituality that I really got into and educated myself on. But I would say that that's where I lean more as of today. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm into true crime, people. True crime. I won't go into that a little bit more, but it is a passion of mine. And
Actually, you can, because the literal next question is, what's something you talk about for hours without getting bored? So this is your chance.
Yes. Obviously, astrology and true crime.
Yeah.
Dance, modeling, photography, content creation. I mean, I can go on and on about that. Motherhood.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, motherhood. And you're constantly learning when you're in, motherhood. I mean, you may have one child that's completely different from the other child, and so you're learning all over again, and it's just a process. But friendships, aging, just going through certain life processes.
And we've talked about this at lunch together, that you truly love to deep dive and to know what you're getting into. Or you like to know the parameters of things, the boundary lines of everything, what defines it, which I find really fascinating because I am not that way. I am, oh, man, I pretty much I'm like the epitome of nailed it. Like when someone tries it and it's like this complete disaster and you're like, well, I tried, I get brownie points for trying. And I figure out the rest along the way. So I do love that you're like somebody that really prepares for things and tries to inform yourself. Like I respect it. I respect it. Okay. So what kind of impact do you want to leave on people?
I feel like I just want awareness. I want awareness about like what the industry that we currently participate in is like. I want to clear up some misconceptions or misunderstandings about who we are or about the type of work. I want to educate and inform for purposes of safety, for purposes of self-love, for purposes of success. And I just want to be a person that people can come to, like feel safe to come to when they have questions, when they are facing, challenging circumstances, when they feel like they just don't have anyone in their corner or anyone that can relate to them. I feel like that is what I want to accomplish, and that is what I want to, inform and and teach people or influence them, at the end of the day, the kind of impact that I want to have, going forward with this.
I am very blessed because I did find you and I
Oh,
have you in my life. It's
same.
been, what, 2018, I
Yeah.
think is when we met.
Yes.
And yeah, I just like meeting you and seeing just how established you were, how accomplished you were, and then also kind of your style of photography and modeling and the way that you navigated what technically is considered, you know, the sex worker umbrella, because there's so many different categorizations of that.
Yeah.
And I really liked how you navigated it personally, the class and the artistic side of you. And I've come to you over the years for so many things. I've come to you as a woman. I've come to you as a content creator. I've come to you as, a model afraid to work with certain photographers, or even learning like what my boundaries needed to be or could be based off of your experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm super excited for you to step into this next chapter. I have always thought that you could create, and I hope you do, create a community where you can actually like coach women, like where you have some sort of, foundation to where they're able to contact you, and you have time and space for that. I
Of
understand
course. Yes.
your little bebe is the most important thing, but this is a long-term goal. So.
Yes, long-term goal.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows? It may happen faster than what we think, but
Mm-hmm.
I will make the time.
Okay, number 10. What are some goals that you have for the future?
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, dude, I feel like one of the biggest, most grandiose like ideas that I have currently in my mind right now is that I would like to have a creative space or creative hub for people to come and to create art, to commune with other artists, just have a community. I would like for that space to offer like workshops for people who are let's say experts in their particular field, to come and educate people who are willing to learn, and just have like space where different mediums of art can be produced and showcased, and just have like a kind of like an artistic hub or innovative, creative like environment space. Doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, um, a school,
Mm-hmm.
like an educational facility. Could be nonprofit, maybe for people who can't, who don't meet a certain financial, requirement. Maybe it could be for kids, the next generation. I don't know. Or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like having, you know, expression is so important. Having a creative outlet is so important. Art therapy is so important. And having a space where people can come and participate in involve themselves in something like that would just be a dream.
I could totally see you doing something where a portion of it's almost like an art gallery,
Maybe.
where like things that either people that have come and produced are shown, or things that are very important to you, having that side of it, like a display almost, and then also having like a co-creative space where people can come and create and maybe experience outlets that they've never experienced before. I when I was a child in middle school, you're supposed to rotate. You're supposed to do music, art, and technology. But I was really cool with the art teacher where she like quietly put me just in art. Like I didn't do anything else. Like I didn't go to technology. I didn't like she just let me write out the year doing art. So there's a lot of things that I didn't get to experience because in technology is actually where you learned about photography. I skipped that portion of my life, because I thought I was getting away with something. So later, when I did want to experience photography, I didn't really have anybody until I got into modeling. So it's definitely a skill that I wonder if I would have been exposed to earlier, kind of where I would have gone with it potentially. Yeah. So I think having spaces where people are able to experience art in different forms of it, it's invaluable, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
I appreciated the time with you today.
It was good. It's a start. It's a start to a laundry list of things that we need to cover.
Yes, and I'm excited to cover. I hope you guys are excited to be here with us.